excuse for a couple of minutes and go and get some glasses out of the car.
Wait till we get
Yeah.
into the minutes business.
Got my case, but I haven't got my glasses in. It's like, no, you're right.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll sit in the car.
Thanks for attention.
Welcome everybody. I declare the meeting open and remind everyone that the council policy on electronic recording of our meetings to assist in the preparation of minutes and allow for live streaming of the council meeting. We remind those in attendance to ensure their mobile phones are switched to silent throughout the meeting. The Circular Council acknowledges the North West Tasmanian Aboriginal people as the traditional custodians of the country in which we stand, meet and play. We recognise their continuing connection to the land and waters and community, and we pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. Attendance, we're all here. Apologies, Neil. I will ask at the end of prayers, as in line with the day of mourning, I'll ask councillors to remain standing, of all present to remain standing and for a moment silent. Prayers, please. Outstanding.
Let us take a moment to clear our minds and focus on achieving outcomes that serve the greater good of the whole community. May light illuminate all present and support everyone to bring their highest and best selves to the debate and the decisions made here tonight.
Thank you, councillors and others. Thank you. I will note that there was a time put down for this, but was unsure of where the meeting might be at that point in time. So we brought it in there. Right, moving on. Confirmation of minutes of the previous council meeting. Could I have a mover and a seconder that the minutes of the meeting on Thursday 18th of December 2025 be confirmed as a true record? Thanks, Councillor Dabner. Seconded, Councillor Collins. No debate? Put the motion. Those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Declarations of interest. Is there any councillors got any declarations? Thank you. 4.1. A few meetings and appointments from myself there. The Christmas break made it a little bit smaller than normal. Questions? Thanks, Councillor Flowers.
Sean Britton, what was that in aid of?
It was in relation, the CEO and myself went and visited Sean in relation on the back of the change in the federal laws around environmental logging and stuff like that, to get an idea of how that may affect them, or to lend some support around if we could, how that may affect him. He had been obviously in dialogue with a number of different people and was at this point a little bit unsure of where that might all end up. But he knows and will come to us if he needs some support going forward. So.
Thank you.
Councillor Collins?
Where was I? The meeting with the Smithton Airport owners, what was that?
Once again, the CEO and myself, they asked for an appointment. They were just to give us an update of being out there, and I'm starting to do some work of bringing it up to scratch. Right. Again, there was the idea, I suppose it's safe to say at this point, is for freight mainly, for some freight transport, possibly some charter stuff. The CEO expanded on that, but we'd love to see eventually, aspirationally, to actually start seeing something more permanent go rolling through there. But that was more an information where we're at. No doubt, how can you help us if things go forward, that type of stuff. So.
That sounds good.
A nice positive meeting, it was.
Yeah, thank you.
No more? A mover and a second that they be noted, please. Thanks, Councillor Pilkington, and second, Councillor Collins. No debate? Put the motion, those in favour? Aye. Against? carried. 4.3, no, 4.1, 4.3, once again our noting our workshops and what our subjects within those workshops. There's no question. Could I have a mover and a seconder? They be noted, please. Thanks, Councillor Dabnett. Second, Councillor Collins. No debate. Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. 5, public. No, written. Received in writing. Now, where am I? Council encouraged community participation in its meetings through providing the opportunity for public questions and statements consistent with Council's core values. Councillors and staff strive to ensure all people are treated with courtesy, fairness, dignity and respect, and we expect our resident and ratepayers to apply similar standards in dealing with councillors. As Mayor, it is my responsibility to maintain the orderly conduct of the council meeting and determine whether a question or statement is out of order due to use of offensive, objectionable or defamatory language. I ask members of the public to show proper consideration and courtesy. Tonight I intend to give everybody who wishes to speak the opportunity to ask 2 questions or make a statement if they wish. Any more than 2 questions will be permitted at my discretion. And now is also the time for any questions about planning matters that may be on the agenda tonight. If anyone wishes to speak, please come to the lectern, state your name and ask the question.
Oh, it's me, I'll take it. I'm not legal vacancy.
Oh, yep, so if you come to the... Yep, state your name and then ask your question, please.
Yeah, Trevor Monson. I was just objecting to a building application that was planned by my next door neighbour on the objection of he's running a business there and the height of the thing. I mean, there was existing buildings there, they were demolished. I have no idea whether he had permission to do that or not. Now they completely cover near enough the west wall, which completely encloses my house with a small backyard. So one part of the shed's fine, won't do anything to me whatsoever, but the rest of it will. So, yeah, just daylight-wise, etc.
I think most of those points will be covered in the presentation when we come to the planning.
Okay.
So the answers to those points will come through then. So
No worries.
thank you for the question to be noted, and as that's presented, they'll come through. And that's it. And we're up to planning. So my councillors were now sitting as a planning authority, and so.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Item 6.1 is the development application DA 2025-123 at 72 Havelock Street, Smith. Application is made for a new outbuilding. The recommendation is for approval. I'll give a brief overview of the site, the application, the particular provision reliant on discretion and concerns raised in the representation. The site as shown on page 2 of the planning report is outlined in blue. Rectangular in configuration, located on the southern side of Havelock Street. The site has an area of 1,012 metres squared and is currently developed with a dwelling and associated outbuildings. The land is assigned to the general residential zone. The site is accessed directly from Havelock Street and is in a fully serviced area. The application. Figure 2 on page 3 of the planning report shows the recently removed outbuildings outlined in yellow, and figure 3 shows the elevations of the proposed replacement shed. Within the context of the existing block wall on the boundary between 72 Havelock Street and 15A Lett Street. The application relies upon one performance criteria under the Tasmanian Planning Scheme, which relates to the setbacks and building envelope for all dwellings. Outbuildings are deemed to be part of a dwelling. Provision reliant on discretion. As set out in the planning report starting at page 5, the application achieves performance criteria, the setbacks and building envelopes for all dwellings. The overshadowing plans provided evidence that there is no reduction in sunlight to habitable rooms of a dwelling on an adjoining property, that there is only a slight increase of overshadowing to the private open space at 12 Brook Street but not unreasonable in a residential setting. The visual impacts when viewed from adjoining properties has been considered at length within page 6 and 7 of the planning report. The adjoining property with the potential for visual impact is 15A Lett Street, as the outbuilding is 0.5 of a metre from the shared boundary and proposes to run for a length of 28.15 metres. Given this outbuilding is a replacement shed in the same location as the recently removed structures and it abuts an existing substantial block wall, the majority of the visual impact is removed. The existing block wall on the shared boundary mitigates the potential bulk and scale when viewed from 15 Aylett Street. The analysis provided with the planning report has been assessed as achieving the performance criteria. Representation. There has been one representation received during the exhibition period. Matters of concern raised are addressed and set out in the planning report starting on page 4. In general terms, the matters of concern are the potential shading to their backyard and house, the height of the shed and potential for owner to operate a business from the site. The overshadowing plans show that there is no new impact from overshadowing onto the dwelling or its private open space at 15 Aylett Street as a result of the proposed siting of the replacement outbuilding. The height of the shed starts at 3 metres and up to 3.77 metres with a skillion roof line. The height of the shed is contained within the building envelope, excepting a small protrusion, which is allowable under the planning scheme. The discretion is not the height, but the length and the setback to the rear and side boundary. The permit application is for a replacement residential outbuilding and must be determined on that basis. Any potential concern pertaining to use are an enforcement matter, which is a separate process for council. The proposed condition 2 is recommended to ensure that the use of the shed is limited to residential activities only. Taking into consideration the concerns raised and the application assessment against the standards within the planning scheme, a recommendation for approval has been put forward. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions, councillors, any questions? You don't stand for the
It's for residential use only. If they use it for a business, and I don't say they're going to, but if they do, what grounds have we got for that? Can we stop that or?
Yes, through you, Mayor. Yes, certainly, Councillor. Very good question. Council has powers for enforcement. Specifically, that condition has been put on in place to protect the concerns raised, and also to continue the amenity in the residential setting. So there's certainly enforcement available. Council can issue an enforcement notice and also go down infringement path as well. So there can be financial penalties raised for non-compliance after that process.
No worries, thank you.
Yep.
Don't understand, councillor Hines.
On page 21, it says it's for residential use only. When you look at it, there's only one small door and 2 roller doors, and the spacings for the purlins and for the wall studs look like they're set up and they're out of timber. Looks like it's going to be lined in the future. Can we stipulate or a discretionary condition on it that it be only for residential? But I'd like to know what the meaning of residential uses when it's got no windows or only one door, and for a safety issue and things like that is concerned.
Doors.
Certainly, through you, Mayor. Residential, the meaning being an outbuilding. So under the planning scheme, an outbuilding is a detached garage or shed. They form a Class 10 under the Building Code of Australia. So therefore, those mitigating measures come into play as far as construction-wise at a building application stage. When a Class 10A building, it has certain requirements under the Building Act that it will need to meet, and that will come under the scrutiny of the independent building surveyor doing that assessment. So from a planning perspective, it's what we call an outbuilding. It's pertinent to the existing single dwelling and used in conjunction with it, but it's a non-habitable structure and it's a Class 10A structure under the Building Act.
So we can stipulate that it's a non-habitable structure in a discretionary.
It is by the nature, and that's
Thank you.
why we're very careful, councillor, to use defined terms, and an outbuilding is a defined term. So when we use that, we are dealing with it as a non-habitable structure.
Thank you.
Councillor Felton?
If a plumber lives there and parks his work ute in the garage, that's still residential. If he starts threading pipe or something, it becomes a business. Is that?
Every person has the right to bring their work vehicle home and park on their property. Their work trailer, it may be a truck, it may be a ute, it may be a van, but absolutely that alone does not stipulate a business. You're simply bringing your work vehicle home for safe garaging and the likes.
Any more questions? Okay, can I have a move and a seconder on the report then, please? Thanks, Councillor Collins. Seconded, Councillor Dabner. Councillor Collins, you wish to speak?
No, I think everything's been answered. Thanks, Lee.
Councillor Dabner, you wish to speak?
Same again, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Any other speakers on the application? Right, I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you, councillors. I now remind councillors we're back into our council meeting. 7.3, councillor questions without notice. Councillor Flowers, Beach, Councillor, sorry.
When you was talking to Britons, have we heard any more about the contract with the state government over the plantation timber?
We did briefly touch on that.
Sorry, through
Yeah,
you,
you
Mr
go.
Mayor. We did ask that very question, actually, Councillor, and he too was waiting for a response.
Yeah.
He was expecting it within a few weeks, actually, so.
Yep.
He didn't, if I can just add a little bit, he wasn't very negative about it. There was
No,
some optimism
that's right.
about
Yep.
where it's going to land, but he didn't have the answer.
Yeah, no, it's been a while, that was all.
Right.
Councillor Hine.
Thank you. Just probably information more than anything, but in last week's paper there was an announcement of $2 million to each of 4 Tasmanian millers, including Britons, for $2 million. And it's to do, and I assumed it's to do with being able to effectively utilise plantation timber, but I haven't asked any question on that, but that's been announced as a forward plan as far as.
Yep. Not sure where the question is on that, but thank you.
No, that's right. But,
What was the $2 million for?
obviously, others hadn't seen it, or
No, I haven't.
Yes, I've read that.
Yep. But thanks, Councillor Hine. No, it's just any further questions? Thank you, councillors. We'll move on. No notice of motions. 9.1, delegations.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As you will all be aware, we're very excited about welcoming our new Director of Infrastructure and Development Services, Ella, which is actually short for Estrella Dixon, to be specific as to the report, who joins us on Tuesday. In readiness for her joining us, there is a requirement to get the necessary delegations in place for that role, and that's the purpose of this paper today.
Any questions? If not, could I move in a second that we endorse the recommendation? Thanks, Councillor Dabner. Second, Councillor Hine. Put the motion, I know to vote. Aye. Put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you, councillors. Finance is 9.2. Rachel.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm talking away here. Before you, councillors, we've got the financial reports for the period ended 31st of December 2025. We've received no new applications for the first homeowners grant, so we had a big flurry on that in the first couple of months and then received none since. So hopefully if anybody's listening out there and you are a first home buyer, then come and fill in your application for the $750 off your rates. In terms of the comprehensive income statement, we've got a current surplus of $4.059 million compared to the loss of 1.3 for the annual budget on page 70. We are, as discussed previously at workshops, in the middle of doing an amended budget for the 25-26 year, which will be presented at the February Council meeting, so watch out for that. In terms of statement of financial position, we've currently got $315 million in net community assets. In terms of the statement of cash flow, the current cash balance is $24.4 million. In terms of the receivables, the proportion uncollected in rates is actually a little bit higher than the same time last year. And I think that's to do with the timing of receipts over the Christmas period, because most of them were actually receipted in January. So I think we'll wait until the end of January financial reports to see where that is, because I reckon that's a little bit higher than probably what it should be. So hopefully they come back somewhere closer together at the end of January. In terms of sundry debtors, that's down a little bit on last year, but we've collected some of those big grant ones that have been sitting there for a while in the last 12 months, which is pleasing. In terms of our bank rec and cash balances, the rates are holding pretty steady on our term deposits, which is actually pleasing considering we budgeted on less than that. So we'll do an amendment to the interest income in the amended budget for a little bit extra compared to what we budgeted for, which is good. And then we have the cash graph and then the service area report. So, Mr Mayor, I'll present that for Council's consideration.
Thank you, Rachel. Any questions on any of those? Councillor Hine?
On page 76, on the transport infrastructure, the actual year to date is about 366,000, and so compared to last year at that time was 4.458 million. Is there an explanation for that, or?
Through Ms Mayor, that's the full amount for the year. So it's not year to date, so that's the full amount.
Yes, on the 4
year.
point, right.
Yeah, so
yeah.
we budgeted 4.4 for this, and without, off the top of my head, without going and having a look, I dare say that's the financial assistance grant road component,
Right.
which is around the 2.8 to $3 million, and also the roads recovery funding, which we've only got a portion of so far.
So it's grant money and things like that.
Yeah.
Next line down was the solid waste management.
Yep.
The year-to-date expenses relate to about 90% of the budget for. So, and we've only got 6 months gone.
Yep.
Are we going to be able to?
Yeah, no, through you, Mr Mayor. We have been doing a review of our internal plant charge-out rates, and I have found a couple of things in there that I've mucked up that I need to fix, and I dare say that's the problem in there, Councillor Hine. So that'll reduce, I think it's overstated the revenue and overstated the expenses, so I reckon that's why we've got that figure in there. So that's something that will hopefully fix itself next month.
I do have some more if you.
Keep going, we're going.
If it's not.
Don't need for your
No,
own.
let's go to page 129.
Page what?
Yeah.
129.
You wait.
I don't
Wrong,
know.
different report.
No,
That's not-
only point out stuff we're talking.
Yeah, far too ahead. On some of the lost my space. It's been closed. No, it's in closed.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, any further questions? If not, if I can have a move and a second that the financial report be accepted. Thanks, Councillor Collins, second the Deputy Mayor. No debate? Motion, those in favour?
All right.
Against, carried. Thank you, councillors. 9.4, Cradle Coast Waste Management.
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
9.3.
Oh, I'm sorry, 9.3.
9.3, sorry, I made a point.
Thank you again, Mr Mayor. As you'll all be aware, we're members of the Cradle Coast Waste Management Group, and this is an information report for the annual report, it's to provide councils, member councils, with the ongoing oversight over the performance of the Cradle Coast Waste Management Group, and it's tabled for your information.
Any questions? Not as a move and a second, we note the report. Thanks, Deputy Mayor. Seconded, Councillor Dabner. No debate. Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. 9.4 now. Appointment Acting General Manager. Yep.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It's important that obviously for periods of time when the General Manager is off either for purposes of annual leave or sickness or any other unexpected circumstances, that we simplify the process by which the delegations of the General Manager pass to another member of the executive team. In this case, under Section 61B of the LGA, it is proposed that the Director of Corporate Communities be assigned those delegations. Under previous circumstances, it's been on a case-by-case basis, but obviously in some occasions things are unforeseeable. So this is an automatic process where my powers would go, my delegation, sorry, would go to Rachel in the event of me not being available, and that's the purpose of the paper.
Questions? If not, could I have a move and a second?
So moved.
Thanks, Councillor Spilkin, a second to Councillor Hine. No debate. Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. 9.5, Senior Management Report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Obviously, it's been a fairly short month since the Christmas close-down period, but that said, it's still been a busy month. A lot of activity in terms of meetings, which may attract questions. I'm very happy to answer any questions that you may have. Incredible amount of work, of course, as there always is, put in by our communities team, our Connected Communities team around Day on the Dock, which I'm sure we're all looking forward to for this this coming weekend, as well as spotlighting a lot of work being put into Australia Day, which some of you may be at. I will be there along with the mayor. Once again, there's a number of achievements been through our depot team, through the recent pavement work that's been undertaken, and I'd ask for any questions that you may have.
Councillor Spilkin.
There was 2 items on the Health Hub. Are you able to elaborate on those at all?
Indeed. So the work on the Health Hub is continuing with a reasonable pace. Actually, at this moment in time, prior to Christmas, we had some discussions with the Commonwealth around the grantee process. We had to address some concerns that they had, which we were able to easily work through with them. I'm in regular contact with the developer, who's very supportive of the interactions that council and he is actually having in the development of the Health Hub. There has been a separate body that's set up already to run the facility, and council has invested time and resource in the development of what we call the tripartite agreement, to make sure that we've got ongoing oversight and involvement in the running of the facility to make sure it's delivering on good community outcomes. As things stand, the developers indicated that some drawings are being developed at this moment in time, which have been done in collaboration with what is hoped to be the anchor tenant for the facility, and obviously that will remain confidential for now as to who that is. But then we've been, as I said, very closely involved in the development of the whole process, and a kind of a real focus towards a public-private partnership and how it can work to deliver great community outcomes. So.
No further questions? Councillor Hine?
That's your number, not on top of the list, worker housing accommodation roundtable catch up, what
So,
out of that?
right across, you will all be aware, it will certainly be no surprise to you all, the entire coast suffers from a lack of available appropriate accommodation, whether it be low-cost homes, whether it be rental accommodation, particularly with the pipeline of major projects that's actually coming into the region. In addition to that, we have an ageing population whose requirements are quite different to the form of housing that we've got available on the coast as well. This housing roundtable is intended to work through all of those issues and get ahead of the game and bring the various stakeholders at both state and local government and not-for-profit organisations together to really develop that strategy for the future.
Other questions? Okay.
Councillor Hine? Councillor Hine?
Yes, right, thank you. You've touched on this a little bit before, but you had the community drop-in on the 19th, which I witnessed you seeing around. How far advanced has got with the establishment of the Chamber of Commerce, and you're aware that there's industry people sort of coming up this way later on, I think, that might be able to sort of lock in with that if it's progressing?
To say that I'm excited is probably a little bit of an understatement. But at the same time, I also appreciate that there's been an immense amount of work and advocacy being done by the likes of the Tarkine Progress Group and other interested parties, for which I see as key stakeholders and partners in our future economic development success. Standing up the Smithton Chamber of Commerce, though, has been something which has been incredibly interesting as we start to get a sense for what it could be into the future. And since we put together the initial member list, and I myself have literally gone door to door knocking down Smithton High Street to generate some interest. I'm not backward in coming forward, as you know. It's gone from an initial membership of 20, which has more than doubled already, just since we set it up. We had planned for the second meeting of the chamber to occur next week. In fact, what we've done is delayed that because in a couple of weeks after that, we've managed to arrange for the Deputy Premier, who is also the Minister for Small Business, to come and visit us, and will be meeting us at Tall Timbers. You've all got an invite in your inbox to come along as well. And in addition to that, we've invited CCA, the Cradle Coast Authority, their Chief Executive and Principal Officers down here to provide a case study on how you leverage the environmental projects such as Ramsar for economic betterment for the local community in terms of small business. So this is probably the first big event that we will have done through the Chamber, but it is only the second meeting. So I'm of every confidence that this will pick up momentum, but it really is not a council-led thing. I'm there to kind of give it a nurturing push, but ultimately we're one of the people within the Chamber rather than the leaders of the Chamber.
Thank you.
Councillor Flowers?
The photos you got there of the curb and channel and the footpaths, was that done in-house or was it done by contractors?
No, it was done in-house.
That's good to see. For a change.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Forgive
sorry,
me.
the curb and channel works was done by contractors. footpath work on Hale Street has been done in-house.
Right, sorry, half and half answer. Forgive me, councillor.
We're going to see the curb machine come out, are we, or not?
There's no current plans to, but that could be looked at in the future.
Sorry,
No
sorry.
curbing machine, if you're insinuating that we have a curbing machine. There's no curbing machine
Pretty sure we did have a curbing machine. That's
done in the past.
well, no, what happened to it.
Any further questions on the report? If not, can I move and second the report be noted, please? Thanks, Councillor Poposky, seconded Councillor Dabner. Put the motion, those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. 9.6.1, there's only one lot of minutes there, Stanley Town Hall Committee. Any questions or comments in relation to that? Right, if I could have a move and a second, they be noted, please. Next, Councillor Flowers, second Councillor Dabner.
Mayor, just bring to your attention, as you read through the minutes, they refer to Deb Marbury as Councillor Deb Marbury.
I didn't pick that up, thanks Councillor. I will get them to adjust accordingly. I'm sure Deb will make a good councillor, but she's not one. Right, I put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Right, we're going too quick. 10, we need now motion to consider resolve absolute majority that matters listed below or listed there be considered in a closed meeting. If I could have a mover and a seconder. Thanks, Councillor Collins. Seconded Councillor Dabner. Put the motion, those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. And 11.0, the council resolve absolute majority that we go into a closed meeting to consider the matters. Moved. Councillor Collins, seconded Councillor Pilkington. Put the motion, those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried.